Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Everything is Bad new Fangled motion picture show.
Welcome one and all to a turkey-fed edition of the Newfangled Motion Picture Show. I am your host, Niall.
And I'm Nolan.
And today we're going to be reviewing what I would say is probably the first movie from, like, the holiday season window.
Yeah.
Yep. Frozen 2. I know we're a little late to this one, but whatever.
Yeah, we actually saw it a few days ago.
Well, yeah, but it came out a week ago.
Oh, that's right.
Came out last weekend.
We had a lot of stuff going on.
Yep. Like everyone does this time of year. So anyway, so we'll be doing our normal thing where we do a spoiler-free review and then give you a spoiler warning and go more in-depth into it after that. Which I don't think it's definitely not a spoiler to tell you that this movie is very predictable, so I think it would be kind of tough to really spoil anything.
Yeah, I guess so.
That being said, we will do our best to not. So anyway, this movie was okay.
Yeah, just alright.
Much like our opinion of Frozen 1.
I think I liked Frozen 1 better. So it's sort of a double-edged sword that there's not any memorable songs in this.
Yeah, like
double-edged mean like the songs were just meh, but at the same time, I'm not going to be hearing them all over and over ad nauseum.
Well, right. So there were a couple of the musical sequences where you could remember like the sequences, but not any of the lyrics from the music.
Yeah, there was one that I thought was really amusing because it was shot like an 80s power ballad music video.
Yeah.
And it was really amusing. There was one in there that went on way too long.
Yeah.
I was just like, we're both sitting there like, when is this sequence going to be over? It just kept going.
It's not a spoiler, but I will say that it was clearly meant to be this movie's Let It Go moment, where it's like the big empowering sort of like.
I couldn't even tell you a single lyric from that song.
I couldn't either, but that's what was supposed to be the intent of that scene.
Right, but it just seemed like it wasn't going to stop.
Yeah, it went on forever. We'll get more into that in the spoiler part, but
the animation is very beautiful. I'll give it that. It's beautiful animation.
In fact,
fantastic scenery.
There was this one shot though where it looked kind of weird because there's this scene where a character is going down this river, and it's kind of weird because it's like the normal, like the animation, like the rest of the movie, it's well done, but it's very clearly like a cartoon, but the water looked almost realistic.
Yeah, it was this weird juxtaposition.
It was kind of weird to look at. To
see these like very animated characters on almost photorealistic background. It's kind of unusual.
Yeah. But yeah, the movie looked great. It's an okay enough movie. Like if you have to take your kids to see a movie while your spouse goes and does Christmas shopping or something this holiday season, or you got a bunch of family in town and you got to take all the kids to go do an activity or something, it's a fine movie. Like it's just pretty unmemorable for the most part.
Yeah. They introduced a handful of characters, but none of them are very important.
Couldn't tell you the names of any of them.
None of them are really important.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Olaf was funnier in this movie than in Frozen 1.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a little better, as far as the writing goes.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if we have much to say. It's just an alright movie. Nothing
Yeah.
Nothing
pretty
real special.
Unremarkable. Disney animated movie. And it's
As far as sequels go, because Disney doesn't have like a great track record with sequels to their animated movies. If you're just gonna base it off compared to any other sequel, it's pretty good.
yeah.
Because I don't think it's. Like I said, I like it less than the first one, but not a lot less.
It had a better second half than the first one.
Yeah, it's not. I don't like it a lot less than the first one.
Like the problem with the first one is since they rewrote it partway through and made Elsa not the villain. It just like when they reveal who the villain is in that one, and it's that guy that Anna is pining over. It's like it feels really like you knew it was coming, but like the whole setup just seemed kind of weird, and he just came off as a really weak villain to be the villain, and it just made for the second half. Like made for like a pretty interesting front half of that movie, and the back half of that movie was not great. This one though was just okay the whole way through. So they kept to the apparent plot the whole way through, at least.
Yeah, but there weren't like a lot of scenes that really just stand out as really great sequences.
And like I said, it was very predictable.
Yeah, we'll get to that in the spoiler section.
We'll get more specifically into that in the spoiler section. But yeah, there was like I don't know what the first time when they first start telling the story of the backstory that like gets them going on the quest. Mm-hmm. I leaned over to you and I was like, I bet this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Like the whole time through we're like, I bet they're gonna have to do this. I bet this is gonna happen. And we were right on every single count.
What's funny, and it's kind of I think because we're in a theater with a lot of kids that, kids will talk during a movie a little bit. We were just riffing on the movie quite a bit, and no one seemed to care.
Yeah, we also didn't have anyone immediately next to us.
I did.
Oh, did you? Oh, it was on the other. It was on the other side of us. We didn't have anyone.
No, yeah, there was a woman and her daughter next to me, sitting next to me.
That's right. Also,
but the daughter was talking during the movie, so I don't think the mother really minded that.
I mean, you just kind of got to expect that going into a Disney animated movie.
Not in a distracting way. I just could hear her talking periodically.
Yeah. So there is also a line in this movie that is kind of an adult line, I think. Like we'll get more. Well, I don't think it's a spoiler to say what it is.
Yeah. Anna says to Kristoff, like, because he dresses up for an occasion, and Anna says to Kristoff, "I like you better in leather," or something like that.
Yeah, and like.
And he blushes or something.
I had to suppress a laugh.
Yeah.
And I looked over at you, and you looked over at me, and we both just went like, "Did she really just say that?" Because here's the thing: adults wrote this movie. They didn't not know what they were writing, right?
Right. And, well, the funny thing is, Kristoff gets this look on his face that's kind of like, like he knew what she meant.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was funnier than I think it was meant to be, or maybe they meant for that to be one of those jokes for the adults.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so anything else to add before we get into spoilers?
Nah.
All right. So henceforth, are spoilers. So yeah. The backstory involves the 4 elemental spirits of the woods: earth, wind, and fire. Or what was it?
Water.
And water.
Then the Fire Nation attack.
Yeah, and then like she's the Avatar or something. But no, there's a 5th element, if you will, that connects the elemental magics to the human world.
We think it might be love. I don't know if they ever actually say. So basically, the movie opens with Anna and Elsa as little kids, and their father tells them this story about the time he went to an enchanted forest, which is just right there. Like, it's right there.
It's like a day's ride away.
Right, and it's close enough that the river that flows through the forest empties out into the fjord where their town
Arendelle.
is.
Arendelle, yeah.
So that's how close it is. And he tells them about how when he was a boy, his grandfather was king, and they all went to meet with the people that lived there, and they had this whole party, but then they were betrayed and they fought.
Oh no!
And then they.
And at that point, I leaned over when he like told the story about how they were betrayed, and her father didn't see the first, like, he didn't see the fight start. I leaned over and I went, I bet Arendelle started the fight.
Yeah, which was the case. And then he was, because he didn't see, because he saw this girl in the woods and he went to follow her.
He was like, ooh, she cute.
Yeah, and then when after the fighting started, like, he blacked out and woke up outside the forest, and now the forest is surrounded by this impenetrable fog. You can't enter it. And I said, well, I bet you, so obviously that girl saved him, and I bet that's their mother.
Yep.
Which was also the case.
Yep. And so he like talks about these four elements or after the story, their mom tells them about like these four elemental magics or whatever in the woods.
And this river of
there's
memories and
there's like a fifth, like, or no, they find out from the tribal people, right, that there's like a fifth rumored element. Like, our stories say of a fifth that connects a heart, yeah.
And then Captain Planet.
And then Captain Planet shows up. No, and it's like this additional elemental, and our stories tell of it, though we've never seen it. I leaned over and I was like, I bet that's Elsa.
Yeah. So Elsa apparently has control over more than just ice.
Elsa's basically a god at this point.
Yeah, she's like super powerful. But anyway, she keeps hearing this voice and she follows it. And so the band gets back together and they go into the...
The band was never apart.
That's true.
They play Pictionary at night together.
Yeah, they play charades.
They're charades, yeah.
They play Pictionary.
That's right. Yeah, I think in my mind it was like, it would have been funnier if it was Pictionary.
It would have been funnier if it was Pictionary. But no, they play charades. Anyway. Elsa's terrible at it. But I think she has no imagination. Anyway, they go follow this voice that only Elsa can hear, and it leads them to the enchanted forest.
That's a lot of faith in her, by the way.
Yeah.
That she can hear. Well, I guess it's back, like, they're like, something weird is going on when, like, the town kicks everyone out.
Yeah, like all the
fires go out. The winds pick up. The ground's shaking.
And the wind blows so hard it forces everyone out of the town. Like, it physically moves them out of the town.
Okay, so there's like all the flames go out, and everyone's like, "Huh, what's going on?" And then the ground like the river starts like raging or something, and the ground starts
the fountains stop.
Yeah, all the fountains stop, and like the ground starts shaking, and everyone comes out of their homes like, "What's going on?" And then the wind. So it's not like the wind like blew through people's homes and threw them out on the road or anything.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So they go off. They leave the rock guy in charge, like the troll or whatever,
and. Deus Ex Magica, rock guy shows up.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, before I said I feared her powers were too strong. Now I hope they'll be strong enough."
Right. Anyway, so Elsa's like, "I'm out of here to go figure this out," and Anna's like, "Well, I'm coming with you," and Kristoff's like, "Well, I'm coming with you," and it's just assume Olaf's going along. Yep. And then they're like, well, we'll go figure this out. Rock guy's in charge till I'm back.
Basically. I mean, that's a bit of paraphrasing, but that's essentially what happens.
Right. So they go off to the mystical forest, and Elsa is able to breach the fog barrier. Everyone else gets rejected because they try to enter the fog and get thrown back out. But she's able to part it with her magic. And
Like
so
Moses.
Yeah, so anyway, she goes in. They meet the people that have been trapped there for 30 years, which include the remaining of the Arendelian soldiers that were there, and then the native people that live there. Oh, and there's this like massive... I just bumped the mic. There's this massive dam blocking up the river, and so if the dam... But then, let's see. It turns out that the fighting was started by the Arendelians. They built the dam to control the native people that were there.
Because they didn't trust the magic.
Right, because they all had magic.
They were suspicious of the magic.
Suspicious of the magic. And,
to be fair, wouldn't you be if you were a non-magical community?
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, the dam that they built is actually hurting their lands. But if the
in
dam,
a non-specific way.
In a non-specific way. But if the dam were to destroy it, it would... All the water would come from caught up behind it would come flooding down the fjord and take out Arendelle. So what do? Anyway, Elsa goes off and following this voice. It turns out to be like the voice is her mother's spirit or something. And it leads her to this Glacier. And the longest musical sequence ever.
Yeah, it goes on forever, man.
And it just keeps going and going and going. And then she finds out the truth of what happens, and she sends a message to Anna.
Oh, yeah, she like falls down into the center of the earth, and it's so cold it freezes even her.
And we think she's like frozen and dead, and then like Olaf comes apart, literally.
He breaks into snowflakes that don't melt still. They just become snowflakes.
Yeah, Anna, but she managed to get a message to Anna, who gets these giants to destroy the dam. Meanwhile, Kristoff has been trying to like propose to her the whole time, and then he's so bad with words. Anna thinks that like he wants to break up with her.
Also, Anna comes off as like
really psycho.
Really psycho. Yeah, like in a way that's like
I think meant to be funny, but is actually kind of
it feels
awkward.
Yeah, like it feels. I think it's meant to like be like, haha, crazy girlfriends, am I right? But it comes off as kind of like,
yeah, you should get out of that relationship, buddy.
Yeah,
before something happens.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It feels weird.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. I don't like it. Yeah, but then they go off and like leave because she thinks Kristoff goes off to plan a proposal, and so she's like told, oh yeah, he went off somewhere. She's like, oh well, I guess he doesn't want to hang out with me. And then when she and Elsa leave, like he comes back to propose, and they're like they already left. He's like, oh, I guess she doesn't want me around.
Yep.
Anyway, he shows up at the end to save Anna, and then at the end, everything is all good. Elsa uses her magic to save Arendelle from the flood,
and abdicates the throne to Anna.
Gives it to Anna. She goes to live in teepees with the native people.
Seriously.
Yeah, seriously. So I guess there's a native people from like that region that this is supposed to be like, but if you're not familiar with that, they just seem like American Indians.
Yeah,
like Inuit combined with like some other northern tribes from like Canada. Which was like what I mean, I'd seen people online prior like theorizing like maybe they like crossed the sea to North America because these people look like Canadian natives, like native peoples from like Canada.
Yeah,
they have the coloring and the shape of their eyes, and they're all wearing buckskins and living in homes made out of sticks and more buckskin. So yeah, if you're but apparently there is a native people from Northern Europe.
You had asked about that, and I was like, I'm pretty sure there's a native people that are from like the northern coast of like Scandinavian and Western Russia. But I wasn't like I didn't.
Yeah.
I knew that there was a native people up there. I had no idea what they even looked like or what their kind of customs.
I read I read an article or something. I found an article about it, and that's who these. If you look at what they look like and their traditional clothing and customs, I think that's who these people are supposed to be.
So, because like this,
but going into that, not knowing that, it looks like they met a Native American tribe in Norway.
Yeah. So they.
It's just weird.
They totally like. So this is supposed to take place like in Norway, right?
Yeah, well, the original story was set in Norway.
Right, but I mean, these stories always just, like, a lot of these Disney fantasy movies just take place in, like...
A fantasy
world that's like, yeah, you know, Beauty and the Beast, like, yeah, it looks like France. The people sound like they have French accents, but they never say it's France. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in this, like, there's a part where, when, like, in a flashback sequence... They're like Elsa and Anna's mom asks Elsa and Anna's dad what he's reading, and he says it's a new Danish author.
Right, which is a reference to what's the name? The guy actually wrote the story that Frozen's based on.
Yeah,
the Ice Queen. He wrote the Little Mermaid. Hans Christian Andersen.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a reference to Hans Christian Andersen.
Right, but that implies that this takes place in like the real world, or it's meant to be like a fictitious kingdom in what is now Norway or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, so all those people out there that subscribe to the theory that Elsa and Anna's parents were shipwrecked and they are Tarzan's parents, that's completely disproven in this.
Yep.
So sorry if you were one of those people.
People tearing up their fan fictions right now.
Yep. Tarzan is not the brother of Elsa and Anna.
Nope. But yeah, oh man, like it was an okay movie. Very, very predictable. Which I know is the case with a lot of like Disney animated movies. But it's like, it's one thing when, yeah, it's predictable because there just isn't a twist. It's another thing when like there's something that's supposed to be a reveal, but you see it coming.
Oh yeah,
from 20 minutes.
By the way, after Anna breaks the dam and the spirits of the land release the fog, Elsa is unfrozen and she's able to recreate Olaf. So.
Yeah, don't worry about
that.
Which
we knew that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I was never concerned that either of them were dead.
Right.
At no point did I was like, ever think that they killed off either of them.
When Olaf died, like, I heard a couple kids in the theater, they're like, oh, no. And I was just like, I mean, Olaf can't die. Yeah. No one is going to die in this movie. So.
It's not a Pixar movie.
Yeah. Anyway. Anything else to add to that?
Oh, I thought was probably one of the funniest sequences was Olaf is telling the story of the first movie to the
people that
have been trapped in the, and it's like almost like that sequence in Return of the Jedi when C-3PO is telling the story to the Ewoks, but the guy who's like the leader of the soldiers, who's voiced by Sterling K. Brown, he's like really getting into this story. He's like reacting like, like
oh no,
oh no, and like just totally reacting to it. That was a pretty funny sequence.
Yep.
And just like Olaf's like odd telling of it, like his point of view of things is just skewed, as you should know. But
yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's it.
Yep. There is a post-credit sequence, by the way.
Yeah.
Which we stay through the credits on everything anyway. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. We always stay through the credits. But All right, what's our next thing, Nolan? Next weekend is nothing, right? Yeah, nothing, which is convenient for us because we wouldn't be able to go see a movie anyway. But then the week after that, Jumanji, the next level, which looks really funny. Richard Jewell and Uncut Gems, both of those look like really good movies. And then we've got Star Wars. And maybe Cats. That's gonna be a long weekend, man. We can find time to see Cats.
I guess so.
Because that's Christmas weekend. And then 1917 ends the year for us. Then we get into the slow time at the beginning. You always have this, like, January is always kind of slow. It's like a, I don't know, it's weird. You get these movies that, like, it's like the producers or whatever just weren't confident enough in it to release it during December. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So you end up with a lot of stuff that's just not, like, is pretty good. Nothing usually amazing. There's a new Bad Boys movie, another Doctor Dolittle movie. The Last Full Measure looks interesting. It's got Sebastian Stan in it.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yep, and Christopher Plummer. And that movie looks interesting. Go check out the trailer for that. It's more of the synopsis is longer than I want to get into in this, but it looks interesting. So we'll probably end up seeing that. And a new Guy Ritchie movie, The Gentleman. So obviously we're gonna see that. It's a Guy Ritchie movie.
It looks pretty good too.
Yeah, it does. It does also look pretty good. And as most Guy Ritchie's movies are, the cast is pretty strong on it. So, yeah. Anyway, that's what we got coming up. What was it? What was the last thing we reviewed, Nolan?
Let's see, it wasn't The Good Liar.
No.
I don't even remember.
Man, we see too many movies, it would appear.
Yeah.
Wasn't Midway, right?
No.
Wasn't Ford v Ferrari. It was 21 Bridges.
That's what it was.
That's right. So, but check out our other reviews. We review a lot of movies. If anything that we have coming up is of interest to you, hit that bell button. I guess is the thing that's like most important these days as far as YouTube algorithms go. So hit that bell button.
Ringy dingy.
Ringy dingy. Did you hear a little ringy dingy? And until next time, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Toodles.